with why why ITGC? So why do we need ITGC nowadays? So it is just only IT general control testing. So if you want me to explain about the brief about general controls. So controls are nothing but these are the rule set provided by the management to the employees. So, for example, even this Zoom call also has some controls like when to talk, when not to talk, when we have to answer, when we have to text in the chat. So, these kind of the rules we call as a controls. So, why do we need controls in any company? So, for example, if you want to enter into any building or any company building, you have to carry access card or your identity card. Why do we need that? Because only authorized people only should get access to enter into that building. So that is what we call as control. And why there are general controls? Why can't application related controls? So for example, everyone has WhatsApp in their mobiles, right? We can put password to it, and we can also lock the image in the WhatsApp through gallery locker also. So we do have application level controls. We can keep our data secure and private. But why do we need general controls like which is applicable to entire entity? So let's take an example, mobile as your company. So before I access anything in the mobile, I have to enter PIN number or password or any kind of fingerprints. So these kind of security is applicable to every application in my mobile. So it may be Paytm or it may be WhatsApp or it may be or any other application. So these controls which are applicable to the entire company. So it is not related to one application. It is related to the entire company. That's why we call it as general control. So it is generally applicable for everyone and everything in the company. So I hope I'm making sense here. You guys have any question about the definition of general control?
For me, no, sir.
Okay, okay, cool. Any other one? Okay, I accept this silence as acceptance. And what are the types of general controls we have? So what kind of general controls we can see on day-to-day basis, like in any company? So we can we should be able to remember, we are not supposed to remember every general controller in the company because it varies from company to company. So for example, if you are AWS cloud company, there will be some different kind of controls like IAM controls, key monitoring controls, or review controls. And if you are a Google cloud, there would be different kind of controls. There is no need to remember every control in the company, but these are the basic general controls every company should have and will be having. That is access management. Access management, in simple words, how an employee or any other person can access into the company. It may be physical access. Physical access means you are physically entering into the company. That is physical access. So how we can manage this physical access? By ID cards, by access codes or fingerprints or any kind of faith and authentication. And very most important access is logical access. So this is the very most primary area of ITGCs, because if I can breach this logical access, I can do anything in the company. So what do we call as logical access? So anyone can give me one example of logical access. So for example, I'm a software company. I do have physical controls in my company. And what do you think would be a logical access to company?
Like logging into a company's portal,
Yes,
employee
perfect,
portal.
perfect. So yeah, these IT related access are inside entity database or servers or website or portals. These kind of logging or getting access to any application. So all these things we call as a logical access. So which is paramount important to any other company. So because if I get, so for example, if I'm outsourced to any company through some hacking or malware or something, if I can open company's portal, for example, company's internal portal, where do they maintain all like their client's credit card details, for example. That's it. So if I able to get client credit card details of PhonePe company through their like company portals or somewhere, it is a dead end to the PhonePe. So PhonePe will lose its creditability and trust from the clients. So, for example, if PhonePe loses its private data, like for example, PhonePe is maintaining my private data or my credit card details and other my banking details and my transaction details. So, for example, if some outsider can get access to it and get hold of these, PhonePe's clients lose their money, their transaction, their private data, and their like business as well. So it's gonna create a disruption to the PhonePe's entire operations. It will lose its credibility in the market. It will lose its trust and law and regulations. Definitely, it has faced the allegations from the law about the privacy and confidential breaching. So therefore, logical access plays vital role for any company. So if any company loses its control over logical access, it's gonna lose its business, reputation, and goodwill. I hope I am clear here, right?
Yes.
Okay. And now, why does ITGC have demand nowadays? Because in 10 years back or 20 years back, there are very less number of online transactions in day-to-day life for every person or for any individual or even for the companies as well. But nowadays everybody is depending upon the IT life. So since the day when since the day we woke up, we first use our mobile. We open messaging or any other social media application or any other phone call. We do everything through mobile, and that is at individual level only. So for example, take our classes. So 10 years back we used to attend physical classes and everybody is sitting in one classroom and sitting, everybody's face to face and talking, writing something on board. So nowadays we are doing everything online. Like by using the word, I'm able to share the data which I want to share with you. And by using the Zoom call, I'm able to talk with you and have a good conversation and interact with every one of you. So our life, business, and operations on day-to-day basis are completely dependent upon IT. So similarly, every company, almost 70 to 80% of corporates in the world are entirely depending upon the IT transactions. So can anybody tell me what are these ERP tools which I have written here? Anybody can tell me what are the utilities of these tools?
Used for supply chain management and finance related operations. HCM related.
Correct. And also we use these tools for employee data management also,
Yes,
financial transactions.
yes,
So
yes,
yeah. So we can see for most of the corporates still using SAPs, Oracles, and other some ERP internal tools. So like for example, if any new employee is joining in the company, they have to upload all their documents to the HR portal. This is also starting point, like starting point for any employee in the company. This is the first application. And once after joining, you need access for these tools, internal tools, business tools like SAP, Oracle, MS Office, or any other tools which you work on. And while working, and if there are any changes in the company, or if any new thing was being introduced, or for example, if the employee is leaving from the company, so he has to follow the exit formalities. This is also will be done through the one application, maybe internal application or vendor application. So everything, every transaction in any company, or every other transaction, it is totally done through the any one or two applications, or one or two ERP tools, or one or two databases. So every data in the company, it may be financial data or confidential data or personal private data of any individual, is totally dependent upon the IT tools. So if I am able to breach these IT tools, for example, I discovered some malware, so which I have sent over the Outlook through that employee in the company, and unknowingly he opened this malware, and his laptop got been hacked, so that I can get access to all these tools of that company. But we can avoid this situation. How can I avoid this one? By installing the intrusion detection system. What is this intrusion detection system? Any intruder, any software or any malware or any either outside intruder who wants to get into the company's firewall should has to cross this intrusion detection system. If any outsider with some other without any HTTP protocol, or without any proper Gmail ID, if anybody wants to enter into my company, they have to go through this intrusion detection system. So at the main gate of the company itself, it was able to stop the intruder entering into or breaching into our softwares or websites. This is what we call IT general control. So without this IT general control, there is no point of having these many applications or running my business or anything. So because if I don't have this kind of security in my company, I will lose my business within a day or two. Maybe it is a software company, cloud-based company, or infrastructure company, or if it is providing SaaS, PaaS, IaaS services, any kind of company. Without these basic ITGC controls, they have to face the cyber attacks, and they will lose their business within a day or two. So that's why nowadays every company has brought into ITGCs as a part of internal audit. So before 10 years back, they used to have only internal audits, which will be having controls related to the financials, like financial sales related controls, or revenue related controls, or some kind of expenses related controls. So this was the traditional old auditing system earlier, which they used to do. But now, as a part of internal auditors, they used to have financial controls plus ITGC general controls. So without these ITGC general controls, there is no internal audit going to happen in any company. So without these ITGC controls, there is no security to any company. So I hope I made my point clear here now. Anybody has any questions like why ITGC is still required to any company?
No.
Okay. Can anyone explain these terms to me? What is access provision, what is access deprovisioning, and what is access review? In simple terms, I don't need any technicalities around this one. I just need a simple explanation about this one. Akshay, Chiranjeevi,
Access
anybody?
provisioning means, in simple terms, we can say
Mm-hmm.
providing like logging credentials or giving access to a user.
Mm-hmm.
Deprovisioning is like the opposite. Means like removing the, I mean, removing the credentials or roles or like access to a user or a portal or a website database, anything related to the company.
Okay, perfect. And review?
Review like in, is it like in specific point of time?
So for example, annually, I'm conducting reviews of access annually. So like, why do we need access review? Anyway, we have provided the access rate. They may be using it well and good for their business purpose. Why do we have to review once access? Is it required? Okay, I'll go through it. So provision, anyway, you told access provisioning, like it is like providing some logins or some other access to any database or application. You are right. Technically, you are right. So why I have to keep controls to provide the action, to provide the access provisioning? So it is just as simple as that giving logins to someone, right? Is it that difficult, or is it generally need any controls for providing any access? So can't I directly give some logins? For example, if Akshay is joining in my company today, I will create Akshay at the rate or something email like this, or and I give password like uh, some password something like this. So why can't I keep it something as simple as this one? Why I have to make it so complex and create a control for this one? Risk. If I do something like this, it gonna generate 100 number of risk to my company. First risk is unauthorized access. Segregation of duties. Orange, please. So if you in future if you attend any interview, this is the first question you get. What are the risks involved in the access provisioning? What are the risks you look at it before providing any access, and what is the steps you take to avoid this risk or mitigate this risk? So if I'm giving access to any employee or any new contractor or any vendor in the company, first I have to see whether he is the authorized person or not. So if I want to create any access in any company, first I have to see whether there is a proper manager approval is there or not, and whether he is the right person or not. So, for example, if you are joining in the, for I told someone told Mahesh or someone he's working in the banking field. So, can I give him IT admin access for Mahesh? I think Chiranjeevi has banking experience, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, Chiranjeevi. So, you are working in a mortgage domain. So,
Right.
for example, if I give you some IT admin access or any some other financial team access, is that works for you?
No, I mean, it will provide me access to IT where I can change the applications or other things where it will be malpractice afterwards.
Correct, correct, correct. Perfect. This is the segregation of duties and principle of least privilege. So, Chiranjeevi's access was limited only for his business operations. So, his job description is mortgage team. So, he will be having work only in mortgage related applications. We call it as day-to-day operations. He should get access to those applications he is working on day-to-day basis and based upon his job description. That is what we call proper segregation of duties between the roles and access.
Yes, ma'am.
And why we have to maintain a segregation of duties? Why can't one person do everything? So why can't Chiranjeevi himself do mortgage and IT work also? Why we need multiple persons or multiple people in one process?
First thing is everyone don't have privilege or knowledge on every domain. And
Correct,
second point is if one had access to everything, there will be
right,
a chance of fraud.
correct, perfect. So there is a chance of fraud, like he may overlook, he may be intentionally do something, or he may overlook by mistake because he might not be having the subject knowledge of everything and everywhere. And to make the independent transactional accuracy, so every process in a company should be independent and integrate. So, for example, Chiranjeevi is doing some new mortgages. So he has collected some data from his client. He entered the data in the system, and he get the loan approved from his manager, and finally the loan was disbursed. So for each step, every step should be performed by three different people. So here data collection will may be done by the Chiranjeevi, but can he himself approve the same thing? No, it should go to the another subordinate or any other high level person like his manager or supervisor or some kind of person who is above this person. And again, the loan should be dispersed by some other department, maybe loan related department or cash department. So if we don't maintain these kind of segregation of duties between the multiple people in one process, there is a chance that Chiru may approve the loan for his brother-in-law and get the loan approved by himself and get the loan distributed 10 times more than the value of assets. So for example, value of asset is 1 crore, he may get the loan distribution for 10 crores. So all these unauthorized access or unauthorized approvals or unauthorized transactions can be done if there is no segregation of duties. That is why access provision is so important that it should follow the three principles. What are these three principles? First one is segregation of duties, and second one is principle of least privilege. Least privilege is we are giving privileges which are least for his job only. We don't give any other access more than his day-to-day job requirements. And third one is role based. We provide access only based upon his job role which was provided, or based upon is the jobs he is working on that particular day. And all this should be done only after the approval from the respective managers or higher officials. And this is the what do we call backend procedure for any access provision in any company. So without following these steps, no one will get access in any other or in any company. So this is my first question. I am going to ask this question now. So what are the things for can provide access? Or what are the three principles of access closing? So this is the first interview question you get everywhere if you go for ITGCs. And what would be your answer? Uh, I appreciate if everybody is more participative in the call.
Oh,
Yes, Akshay. So if you are going to audit the access provision and control, and what are the three principles you keep in mind while checking the access related control?
can we say it's based on segregation of duty, the role,
Okay.
uh, which is specified to the user, and privileges which is specified to the user.
Yes, perfect. And you can just mention these 3 points: segregation of duties, principle of least privileges, and principle of role based access. That's it. It is as
Okay,
simple as that.
fine. Thank you.
Thank you. And what is the process of access provisioning? What would I will be looking in the access provisioning process?
Logical access, access provisioning, deprovisioning, periodic review of access.
Okay, that is perfect. Those are the what we call components of access.
Components. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So in case of access provisioning, I will brief what are the steps will be involved. So for example, if any new employee is joining in the company, we look for the HR email. First step is the HR email mentioning about his joining date, details of joining and in which department he's joining and what kind of access he required in the company, like tools, Teams, Outlooks, or any kind of Word, MS Office. They will mention all these details.
and all these details mentioned and tracked in ticketing tool. For example, let's take a Jira ticketing tool. So because in corporates, it is very hard to track anything through only by emails or Teams charts. They need one centralized system to track everything. That is ticketing tool. So in this case, I'm taking Jira as my example. So HR will create a Jira ticket, and there he mentioned about the new joinee details and when he's gonna join, what are the things he's gonna do, what kind of access he need. All these details can be mentioned here. And then it goes to the respective manager for approval. So the respective manager has approval that Mr. A is going to join in my team and he gonna need access for applications like Teams, Outlook, and these kind of applications or blah blah blah. He can list all these things, which are basic tools he need to start his job. And date of access provisioning. Should be on or before the This is the key step we perform as a part of testing for the access provisioning. So for example, Mr. A is there. His joining date is 1st January 2026. And manager provided approval for his access on 5th January 2026. And he got access on 2nd Jan 2026. Can you guys tell me, is there something wrong here? I don't see like anything wrong going on here because I joined on January 1st. I got access to the system on 2nd Jan, and there is a manager approval also. What is wrong here? I believe this process is correct.
Manager approval given after access.
Correct, correct, perfect. So the manager provided approval only on Jan 5th. So you should get access only after the 5th January. You should not be getting the access before any date to this one, 5th January. So what happens if access is being provided on 2nd January 2026 and I started working on one client also there. I started working on 2nd Jan itself. They gave me one project. For example, AWS some cloud IAM working is going on. And 3rd January also I worked on some client. 4th Jan also I worked. I did some modifications in production and manager got to know all these things and he asked me when did you got approval and when was access was provided, blah 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 things after 5th Jan. So what could go wrong on these dates, 2nd January, 3rd January, 4th January? What might have happened and what are the risks? So for example, he deleted some key data from AWS. So for example, on 3rd January, he deleted some key confidential production data, and everyone is accusing that employee. So can we make accountable to that employee? So can I take any action on that employee if he has deleted some data in the production? Is it possible for me to take any action on that guy?
No, since he is the new joinee, he should have knowledge on everything. Otherwise, he can't be given direct access to the work.
Correct. So since he's a new joinee, he was not trained well. He can take that excuse. I'm a new joinee. I'm not aware of these kind of things. That's why, by mistake, I deleted some key data. He can take lenience on this one. So who has to take the blame here? Who has to take the blame here? Because we cannot
Manager.
accountable. Yes. Can we say manager? So manager is saying, like I got only email on 5th January. That's why I approved only on 5th January. This is what manager is showing. Who is the person we should blame here in this situation?
A backend team which dealing with the access provisioning.
Correct. So IT admin, backend IT admin team who has provided the access without any approval. So if there is no approval, what would happen? First thing, I cannot make anybody accountable. So he might do something, he might delete something, he can make any changes he want. I cannot make accountable that person. And he is also unauthorized person to get the access to the systems. So what is the first risk arises if someone get unauthorized access, accountability will be lost and we cannot blame that respective person. So to avoid all these consequences, they streamline everything. So nowadays, every company has HRM tool, which is streamlining, like automating everything. Why it is important to automate this HR process? Why can't we do it through emails only? So HR will send some email, manager will provide on top of to that email. He can also provide the approval, and someone give access. Why there is a need of automation? Any guesses? Why should we
Two
automate
things.
this one?
Two things. One is it may get delayed because the emails one has to review and one has to provide access. So it may take 5 to 6 working days. In automation, it will take hardly hours. And second point is the mails may be lost because of data constraints and everything. For future audit complaints and things, they may be lost.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And one more thing, and we can streamline the process. So streamlining means without the approval, IT man cannot even provide the access. It will block the access. So for example, if you are opening any website,
If you want to apply for any job in Workday, so if you don't provide your education details or CV or your current address, it won't even accept the job application which you are doing. It won't even show the submit option for you. I think everybody might have seen this one already. So that is the automation, streamlining. So without the approval in the Jira, there is no option for access provisioning at all. So IT person can't even provide access without the manager approval in the Jira ticket because you don't see any option or any other feature even to provide the access. That is why automating HR functions is very important. It may be through HRM tool or any other ERP tool. I hope we are clear here about the process of access provisioning. Anybody? Any questions? Okay. So for every control, if you want to test any control in the company, first question they will ask like, what is the attribute for the control? What are the attributes you follow for this control? So what is the meaning or definition of attribute? Anybody has any idea about this word attribute? Okay.
like quality or a
Mm,
feature.
okay. Future or something like that. Okay. So for example, if I am testing the access provisioning, first thing I will look into is documentation of access. Second thing I look for the approval. Third thing like approval date before provisioning. These are the three attributes I look for. Without these three attributes, I will fail the access control itself. So these are the test procedures we perform to conclude the effectiveness of the access provisioning controls. Today I don't have any sample access provisioning control, but tomorrow I will bring you one testing sheet about the access provisioning and how do we write down the attributes, or how do we perform the, sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry for that. So without these three attributes, I can't even comment about the controls. I can't even comment about the access control at all. So if I want to perform any test procedure, or if I want to write down any test procedure about access control, these are the three things should be there. We are good with access provisioning. Uh, okay, if you want a reference where else we can see this access provisioning in the software. I hope everybody are aware about SOC2 report, right? If not, no worries. I can brief you about this one. So AACPA provided some guidelines to provide how to issue the software report and what are the controls value testing, what are the criteria will be there. So this is mainly related about the IT companies which are maintaining the confidential data. So for example, if you are a new software company, if you are providing data server services, for example, if you want any new clients in the market, if you want any new client want to trust you before. So for example, if you are a IT server entity, and if I want service IT services from you, I should be able to trust you, whether you are the reliable person or whether my data will be safe with you or not. Uh, in case of an individual person, if he is healthy or not, you can take the medical report, right, as a proof of his healthiness. But in case of a company, if it is an IT company, whether it is healthy and secure, how you can see? You can see through the SOC2 report. So it is like a health report of the IT company. I hope you got some understanding about this one. And it is built upon the standard SSAE 19, which is the attestation engagement standard. I can brief you about all these standards in the coming days. And inside this SOC2, there is a first trust service criteria, which is security. So security has multiple domains. There are nine common criteria, inside which there is CC 6.0, that is logical security. Inside this logical security, you will perform the testing of access provisioning.
So this is only for your mapping learning purpose only. You don't have to worry about this one as of now. We discussed the attributes and we discussed the principles as well. Any question related to the access provisioning as of now? Anybody, anyone? Like, so for example, I'll do interview for access provisioning. How it is. So if any new employee is going to join in the company, what is the checklist you follow before providing the access? Anyone?
The HR mail, the
Okay,
date of joining,
right.
and
Approval date.
His roles and
approval date.
responsibilities,
Okay,
manager approval for access.
okay. Actual data provisioning. When was it actually provided or not, so that you can compare the dates. And this is the basic checklist we can follow. If he is a privileged user, we also look for the privileged approvals. Because if he is not a normal user, we have to look for the privileged approvals as well. And where you can find this access provision control in the SOC2 report, we can find this in the CC6 logical security. And yeah, pretty much clear on this one. One topic is enough for a day, otherwise you guys will forget this one. Tomorrow we can take up the access termination. Termination is like reprovisioning, and which is key control, like where we had to test 100% samples without any questions asked. For example, if 20 people were terminated in a company, you had to test all 20 samples because it is a high risk control. So tomorrow we can take up this one. So if there are no questions, we can wind up the session for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you were asking something?
No. I'm saying I
Okay.
don't have any questions at present right now.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your time. I hope you guys have some good understanding of access provisioning as of today. We can continue rest of the details in the coming sessions. Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.